All right. First time for Lonnie to present the stuff. First time for me doing a mastermind call on the walking treadmill.
It's first for everything.
Ready, buddy?
I'm
Let's
ready.
do it. So Lonnie
Well,
is like one of the smartest guys around marketing, franchising, and marketing now, just because of his background in marketing, background in what he's done, helping franchise brands. So he's an executor. He knows this stuff. He's not just like an influencer that will talk about stuff. Like he's in the trenches. So what you're gonna hear from Lonnie is like what is working out there and why it works. And so Lonnie put this presentation together for us, or at least the first time for us. So go for it, buddy.
all right. Well, thanks for having me. I mean, today I want to talk about social media and business directory account setup and management. And this may seem like a softball topic, but it really isn't. This potentially down the road, if you don't have your ducks in the row, could turn into a super high maintenance management scenario that is not scalable if you don't do it right. It just turns into this big mushroom cloud, and I've seen it in person. I've seen this happen where poor decisions are made on the initial process of getting this process going and setting it up, and down the road when you get to 10 Z's, 20 Z's, 50 Z's, things start falling apart and breaking, stuff falls through the cracks. And in the worst case scenario is, and I've seen it, is I've seen accounts get suspended, deleted, and are unusable for a long period of time, which doesn't allow you to generate leads from them, which makes Z's very unhappy. When you have 20 or 30 Z's that are unhappy at the exact same time for the exact same reason, you want to solve that problem immediately. And unfortunately, with the platforms that some of these will be set up on, aren't very friendly when it comes to something like that. So this little topic ends up being potentially a catastrophic issue if you don't kind of.
Well, there's multiple ways to do it, and then as I talk to new brands, even as we were setting it up ourselves, Lonnie, back in the day, like there's so many different ways to do it, and you're going to get different types of advice out there. And there's reasons to set it up different ways. So this is probably one of those topics where people and new franchisors just don't know what to do, and a lot of them do set it up the wrong way, and they pay for it later.
Well, the problem is everybody goes out there and hires a social media agency or a Facebook ads agency, or they hire somebody in-house, and everybody in that arena has the experience, in those spaces, but they probably don't have experience in franchising.
Yeah.
They don't experience the scale and what happens and like the pressure that comes from franchisees when things aren't perfect. So that's the part where they're giving good advice from what they know, but what they don't know is what potentially could go wrong when you have 20 accounts, 30 accounts, 40 accounts, hundreds and thousands of them. And that's the perspective that I kind of want to highlight today. Because the advice is again, has a place and it's right, but I want to give you the perspective from a franchisor's perspective and franchisee's perspective when you have 20, 30, 40 Z's and what that means to how this ecosystem would work together. So anyway, let me just get into it here. So I guess the first thing I just want to introduce myself. I know Eric already gave me a little bit of a setup, but I put a picture of my dogs on here because no one wants to see my face on this thing, but I like Christmas and I like my dogs. There's Maddie and Cooper. They're definitely the worst dogs out there, and I tell them that every day. But anyway, a little bit of my background. I'm definitely an entrepreneur. I've been a business owner and my entire life, right out of college. Just something I've always just been passionate about. So I relate a lot to franchisees and franchisors that have the same type of mindset. Never intended to be an SEO or marketing guy. It just kind of worked out that way. I started learning this stuff with my own business. I had a business, an internet business, and I said, well, I better learn SEO, and that's kind of how it started. I didn't learn SEO to do it as a career. It just kind of evolved that way. 15 years in web design and SEO, ran 2 marketing agencies, one specifically about franchising. Worked with franchise systems for over 7 years now. Just recently, just spent the last couple of years working inside a franchise system with 7 emerging brands and 400 franchisees. So a lot of you emerging brands that have 1, 2, 5, 10 that want to have 50 one day, I've been through that entire process for 7 brands, and seen all the ins and outs of that, and also learned a lot of lessons in that process, which I'm going to share with you today. Um, anyway, let's get on. That's enough about me. So the purpose of this presentation is I want to give you the information you need to choose the best structure for your brand. I mean, there is no complete cookie cutter solution. There's nuances of every brand having different needs and desires. So I want to touch on those, but for the most part, I want to give you perspective and give you things to think about so you can make those right decisions, because things definitely change as you grow. And I know you're all here to grow and you want those 10, 20, 50, 100 Z's, but I want you to be aware of what happens as you grow and the things you should put in place today to prepare yourself for potential downfalls of when that happens.